Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Loco Cast. Today we got Julian the barber. He's a celebrity barber. Not only a barber, he's a tattoo artist. He does SMP hair tattoos as well. Hey, Julian, welcome.
Hey, what's up? Appreciate you having me.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you
Yeah,
for having me.
appreciate you
Appreciate
coming
you.
on.
Oh, man. Thank you.
So you're from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Can you tell us a little bit about like where you grew up at and like how your upcoming was?
I mean, it's funny that we're even here right now because I grew up on the street we're on right now, Franklin Avenue in Wilkinsburg. That's where I grew up. 812 Franklin Avenue. That's where I spent the first 11 years of my life. Then the rest of that time, I pretty much grew up in Penn Hills, so Wilkinsburg, Penn Hills area.
Okay.
Now I'm just pretty much, all over the city. But I grew up, single mother, two sisters, nothing uncommon, just a regular, just regular life in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, so it's a full circle moment coming back here to Wilkinsburg on Franklin Street.
Yeah, I know. That's
crazy.
That was so ironic. I'm pulling up. I'm like, oh, he said Franklin Avenue. I didn't really read the address till I was leaving. I'm like, that's where I'm from. That's what's up. So, and I was driving down Franklin Avenue the other day, and they tore down my childhood home, my best friend's childhood home, my grandma's childhood home. So they basically like erased it, erased like my whole childhood memory. So things are changing around here, but
Yeah, the community of Wilkinsburg is definitely changing.
right.
Yeah, the whole city's changing.
Seems like it's in a good way though. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see, even this, where we're at now. It's beautiful in here. Nice setup.
Yeah, no,
Good,
this-
setup.
This is definitely a diamond in the rough place that we found. But so you said you moved to Penn. So did you go to Penn Hills High School?
So I actually went to City High,
City High, okay.
which is downtown.
All right, my cousin went there.
Yeah, but I was still living in Penn Hills, so I lived right next to the high school. So, on my way to City High, I would have to walk past Penn Hills High School to get to school. But I wouldn't change anything. Only thing is I just lost a couple friends when I switched schools, but I wouldn't change anything. I love City High. Shout out to City High.
How do you feel like? Do you think there's any difference between like you getting your education at City High versus going to Penn Hills, and even maybe like the thoughts among your peers, like the fact that you're in the community but you go somewhere else for school and things like that?
I feel like City High was a great school.
Okay.
I feel like I wouldn't be the person I am today if I didn't go to City High. Not even just myself, but there's so many people who I'm still in touch with and cool with till this day. They're doing positive things and doing good things. And I feel like a lot of that's credit to going to City High because we had a smaller graduation class. We only had 105 people in our graduating class. So it was more intimate as far as the teachers and your learning experiences. So they're going to push you harder and fight for you harder. So I think in that way it was a really good school. Penn Hills, I probably would have been continuing to get in trouble more than I already was, and just being a knucklehead. So I probably would have followed the crowd more if I went to Penn Hills. So, shout out to Penn Hills, but I probably would have got in. Wouldn't be here today, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And you also went to Penn State for a little bit too, right?
Oh yeah, I did. I went to and honestly, again, I credit that to going to City High. They fought for me to get into. I got in Penn State main campus, my freshman.
Yeah, main campus.
Freshman year, main campus.
That's a flex you don't realize.
That's a flex right there.
Right. So I did that. I credit that to City High, honestly. But I went to Penn State. Shout out to Penn State. I didn't graduate. I ended up dropping out. But like I said, everything worked out for a reason. But
look
that's
where you at now.
That's my flex. I did get in there my freshman
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big flex right here. So how did you start becoming a barber? How did that start for you? So did you start in college?
I started when I was 12, honestly.
Oh, dang, okay.
Because what I was doing was first the barbershop I was going to in Wilkinsburg, there was a shooting in there. Somebody got killed. And so my mom, that's around the time I was walking to the barbershop myself. So she didn't feel safe with me still walking there. So I started, taking my uncle's clippers and doing little things there, doing my cousin's hair, stuff like that. And then I started getting pretty good. High school, I'm trying to look fresh all the time, haircut every day. Pretty boy, that was me. So I had to stay with the fresh cut. Then dudes was like, how you always got a haircut? And I start cutting them, cut my friends. People that I'm still cool with till this day, they'll tell you I was catching a bus from the east to Bell Silver and stuff to come cut people.
You wasn't playing, but you're hustling.
Bro,
you always had the hustle in you.
So, I always was doing something with cutting related. Even in college, just a little bit, You know, in college I was wilding out, so I wasn't like
Yeah.
I wasn't like super focused on anything, to be honest with you. But I would do that for a little pocket money in college, you know. And then after college, office job, and I got fired from that, and then that's when I came back to barber, and I haven't looked back since.
Damn.
So
how was it to take that full step after leaving your office job into barbering? Were you feel like, were you a little worried about it at all?
well, yeah, I was worried about because I got fired.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, I had an office job straight out of college. Well, I told you had dropped out, and I got lucky, you know, blessed in this, and I got a job, a very good job at my age, an office job. I'm doing, you know, accounts receivable and stuff like that. So, you know, young, early 20s, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm making decent money. I get fired from that job after 3 years because I hated it, because I'm not an office person. I'm not making phone calls and emails. That's not my personality. Like, I like to be out there shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yeah.
So, you know, it showed in my work, and I got fired from that job. But honestly, that was the best thing that happened because it reminded me I forgot I know how to cut hair. So I'm getting back on my grind. I started doing house calls for like $10. You know, I'm putting up flyers at every bus stop. I'm doing for house calls for $10. I don't care where it's at. I'm coming. Like, I remember I'd drive out to McKeesport for some dude. He would give me like $15. You know, stuff like that. So I was using other people's work. I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah.
On the flyer, I was trying to get on. So, you know, I was hungry. I was hungry, man. So being fired, of course, I was worried. You know, that's why I got on my grind. So, but like I said, that was honestly the best thing that probably happened to me for real. I needed that to be pushed, to be propelled to this, you know, to this point.
Yeah, so how long were you doing like your house calls and everything before you actually got into your first shop?
Let me see. It wasn't long because I was doing, so many people were hitting me up for house calls. I'm like, there's something to this. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't making that much doing the office job anyway. So, like, comparatively speaking, I'm like, you know, I could make a couple $100 a week.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy this. So I'm like, you know, there's something to this. I probably recognized that about like month 2 doing that. And then I started going to different shops. I went to probably like 4 or 5 different shops. And then they all told me no. Because of what I was looking to do was become an apprentice. So you could get your barber's license 2 ways. You could go to school or you could become an apprentice. Either way, you need 1,250 hours. So I wanted to get my hours through just doing an apprenticeship. So, you know, last shop I go to, I'm like desperate at this point. This is like shop number 4 or 5, and then it turns out to be my childhood barber, which is ironic.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The shop you have to stop going
Right.
to, yeah.
That's ironic as hell. And then he was also a friend of my dad. So, you know, my dad looked out for him when he first became a barber. So he kind of looked at it like a full circle coming thing.
Yeah, full circle. I got to look out for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so it worked out perfect, man. So ever since then, I never looked back. That was probably let me see, like 8 years ago. 8 years ago.
What kept your motivation? You said you went to 4 or 5 different shops before you finally, you know, were able to get that yes. I'm sure it was real hard, you know, going like, you know, hear and know from so many people. So how'd you, I guess, like keep yourself driven and, you know, trusting, you know, your own ability?
Cause I started to get pretty good. And I remember, now that you even bring it up, I remember like times where people I don't even know were giving me so much praise, and they were just like, yo, this dude is so good, bringing their whole family into the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, look at this cut.
You just standing there.
Right. I'm just like, hey, y'all like it, I love it. So, you know, once that start happening regularly, often, I'm like, there's something to this. And I love what I do. I'm loving this. I'm working for myself. I got more freedom. You know, the money's not there just yet. But I feel like if I keep grinding, I keep pushing. So just having that, like, little, you know, smoke, you know, was giving me hope.
Right.
It was giving me hope. Like, I could keep
where there's
going.
smoke, there's fire. So
Yeah,
facts.
facts.
Right.
Right.
Definitely catch a blaze.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, amongst your peers, did you see a lot of, like, for, like, my little cousin, he cuts hair. He don't cut hair. Like, he started probably when he was, like, 13, 14. I remember him giving me cuts, and like, they were trash at first. It's my cousin, and now he's, like, a lot better. But do you feel like you just don't see a lot of people, maybe, like, even your age, like, doing stuff with their hands and, like, you know, taking that step forward like you did, being an entrepreneur? And, like, I mean, being a barber is, like, that's, like, a age-old, you know, profession. I feel like people kind of, and it's a craft, really, that's, like, kind of stepped away from. So, like,
Yeah, I feel like nowadays, like your generation and younger. I mean, y'all don't have to do stuff with your hands. I mean, you could just type stuff on a computer and make millions of dollars. But
Yeah.
I will say there is a need for people to still do stuff with their hands. Not even just barbering, like bricklayers and welders and stuff like that. That's definitely like a lost craft to do stuff with your hands.
Mhm.
But nowadays, y'all blessed to not really have to. But I wish younger people would do more stuff with their hands and try different stuff and know how to learn how to change tires. There's not too many young people that know how to
Yeah,
change
swear
a
people's
tire.
girlfriend get a flat tire, you can't even help her.
Yeah, can't hang a picture up in the house. Can't mount a
You call
TV.
people for everything, stuff that you could, figure out.
Right, can't get rid of a mouse. Nothing, man. What are you good for? It's like there's a balance. There's definitely a balance. Like there's things that I don't know about computers and stuff. Like man, he's always telling me stuff. Like putting me deep on stuff, man. So I love hearing stuff like that. I'm like, how do you know this stuff?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just I don't know. It's just I just know it. I'm like, so I love that. You just gotta have balance, man, for sure.
Yeah, especially in like school isn't for everybody either. So like picking up that trade, you can still be successful too.
Yeah, facts, man. There's a lot of things you don't gotta go to school for.
Yeah, like you don't gotta go to school for like anything, really.
Right.
Yeah, it's really about you either know how to do it or you don't know how to do it. And like the information is definitely out there.
Facts. Yeah, even if you didn't know how to do it, you could just go out there and just. A lot of ways, that's how I learned to cut hair. It's just YouTube, man. School of YouTube, but really being in the shop. But initially, definitely like YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, so I guess going back to that, circling back to your dad's friend. So what was your first experience like at the beginner shop? You got your own chair and everything like that.
It was honestly, it was really a culture shock for real. And,
About how old were you when this happened?
So let me see. I had to have been like 24, 25.
Okay.
And it was a culture shock for me in a lot of ways because there was OGs working in the shop. I'm talking like dudes like 40, 50 year-old black men. And there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 of them when I was working there. So the 3 old heads, OGs, and then it was me. And I'm like 24, so I'm like the only young dude there at the time. So it's the 4 of us. And so, I never really been around men. My whole life, because my father's been in jail my whole life, and so that's a whole nother story. But so I never really had, close figures like that around me in my life, because I'm with these guys like 8 to 10 hours a day, so it was a lot of ways culture shock. But what raised me up, what gave me the edge, the things that I needed when I was coming up, they taught me the right way to do things, the OG way, the respectable way to do things. And
What were some of the valuable lessons they taught you?
man, to like stand up for yourself, be a man, what I'm saying, assert yourself, your style as a barber, your personality, the way you carry your weight yourself. I mean, they damn near like, I was a man at that time, but I feel like they raised me up into a grown man for real. So respect to them, and they know who they are. Shout out to them, and I give them the praise till this day for that. I respect them, and they really didn't have to do that, but I had to put in the work too. I remember times, because I'm coming straight from an office job, so I wasn't necessarily visually fitting in. I had glasses on, I had short hair. I'm wearing dress clothes to work because I couldn't afford new clothes. So I really didn't fit in for real. So, you could have,
in his chair. I don't know.
you could imagine they give me a hard time.
Yeah, they probably mess with you and stuff.
But it's all fun and love. You know what I'm saying? But they gonna try you too, and that's not just them, but the client. So you gotta, gotta stand up for yourself. So respect them and forever love them for that. So.
So what would be like some advice you would give like a young barber just starting out, like growing his clientele and learning their trade and learning their skill?
Man, skip the gimmicks and just focus on getting good, man. Only way you can get good is repetition. So if that means you have to be shorter on your money, then so be it. If you want to be the best, that is. If you want to be the best, then don't worry about the money at first. Just do it because that's what you love to do, and the money will come. So there's plenty of times where I foregone money just so I can get my repetition up or get a good look or a name out there, or what I'm saying. So don't worry about the money. If you're doing everything right and living your life right, everything will work out. You just worry about getting better and learn how to use the razor, man. Get good at that. It's a lost
Yeah, the
art.
razor's important. When I was young, I'd be like, Julian, I need the razor, man.
Yeah, that's a lost art nowadays with the young barbers, man, for sure. So
So that's actually how I started going to Julian. I was in the barber next to him. I said, dang, bro, his cuts is looking way fresher than the other dudes get out my chair. I came back and said, yeah, barber, I think I'm going to switch barbers. I'm sorry. No feelings.
On your barber.
I told my barber
dude
right
the
there,
chair
buddy.
off.
hey, look,
I know that was awkward. Walking by.
It was every time I went there for an appointment, I just.
nah, that's part of the game, man. I mean, it's happened to me. It happens to the best of them. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the game. Someone like, you might actually be a better barber than that person, but they just might like something that they have to offer, whether it's their personality, how fast they go, or if they're always on time or something like that. So there's different factors. So, like I said, you know, he wasn't sweating about it. You know, it's all nothing but sweat with respect and love. You know, so it should be that way anyway.
Yeah, it was all respect, too.
Yeah.
So your first job, about how long were you there?
I was there. Let me see. I was there 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, like almost like 2.5. So 2.5, 2 years, and I had a dream. My dream was always, and my goal was to always like cut on the south side. I don't know. For some reason, I just felt like the south side was just like where it was at that time in Pittsburgh, and I was like, I always want to cut down there. That's a goal, and maybe one day I'll cut Steelers and stuff. That'll be cool. And then all of that really did come to fruition. So I had an opportunity where the shop owner on the south side was hitting me up, I hit them up to ask them questions, and then they basically offered for me to work there.
Wow.
And I'm like, I wasn't even looking for the opportunity, but
That's a blessing.
you know, since you asked,
I'll come there,
you
yeah.
know? So you know, again, it's another situation where I was just blessed, you know, put myself in the right place, right time, I guess. So.
And you mentioned cutting Steelers, so tell us the story of how that happened.
The very first day I got to that shop on the south side, I cut a Steeler. I think it was what's his name? Bucky Hodges.
Okay.
Yeah, it was I think it was a tight end.
Okay.
He played for like the Vikings and the Steelers. And I cut him the very first day I got there. I'm like, yo, it's lit. I'm cutting Steelers first day.
First day.
They can't tell me anything, for real. Like, first day. And ever since then, man, it was just like, you know, kind of like the floodgates open. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. It's able to, you know, cut a lot of Steelers. I can't even really, you know, keep track of it, you know, to be honest with you. But
Yeah, and I see you cut a singer too.
yeah, I cut Jacquees.
Yeah,
not too
Jacquees.
long
Yeah,
ago.
Jacquees too. Yeah.
Not too long ago. He was in the city, and his people had hit me up. I was grateful and blessed enough to cut him. So he was actually a really cool dude. It was nice to meet him. You know, and anybody comes in the city that needs a cut, I'd be more than happy to, you know, take care of you.
Yes, sir. And then just even talking about like leaving your old shop, you had to like leave your old comfort zone, like where you were coming around and move to that next level, and all these like new opportunities came.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. One thing about my life is always definitely leveling up to the next thing. You know, of course, you know, you get your emotions tested, things, but you know, you're never gonna. I always look at things. You're never gonna win if you don't take a risk, or make a change or something. Because you know, it's so easy to get stuck in life and be comfortable and just everything's cool, everything's good. I'm not trying, you know, make any moves or anything frantic.
Yeah, I'm just happy where I'm at.
Yeah,
But then
so
that just kills you.
It'll kill you, man, for real. So sometimes you gotta make that leap even if you don't want to, you know. So, and it's always worked out in my favor. That's what I'm leaning on at this point. Everything up to my life at this point has worked out.
Yeah.
So it gotta work out. I haven't gotten this far for no reason. So I'm just leaning on that.
What do you think you did going from, you know, you said you were doing $10 cuts and house calls to now you got like celebrities hitting your line to get cuts and things like that? How did you scale your name and your brand to be able to, you know, make that? Because that's a huge step.
I mean, to me, I always feel like people around me say like I'm famous or this and that. And that. I never felt that way. Like, and I didn't even say that I am. I appreciate that people think highly of me in that way. But to me, that's never was my focus. And to be honest with you, I always cut hair because that's something that I love. And so because I love it, I always focus on just being the best. So that might mean just staying late or doing extra for a client or trying to fit somebody, fit a regular in, or, you know, giving the best haircut possible, always trying to be on time. You know, little ways I could show them I appreciate them and appreciate the craft. So I feel like my loyalty to just being the best in that way has like paid off in so many other ways, in ways that I haven't even asked for, but I'm realizing I'm grateful for. So just putting the work first, man. Just putting the quality out there, really caring, you know, not just about my craft, but my clients and everything. So, you know, I don't even have to say these things. My clients and things like that speak for me, which is so amazing. That's a blessing, for real.
That's the best
really
marketing
is.
to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you mentioned something important there. Like, you were never focused on like the fame or like being the most popular barber. You were just focused on your craft. And, like, a lot of people start stuff because they're looking at like the rewards, like the fame and everything first, instead of actually putting the work in.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, when you ask me advice for the young kids, avoid the gimmicks, man. Like, I get it. You know, you gotta put yourself out there and make videos for Instagram and get yourself advertised, but like, don't focus on that. Like, for real. That's just like, that's two different parts of your business. Drawing people in and then actually keeping them is really being who you say you are. It's gonna suck when you making all these videos and all this stuff and people are coming to you and it's like he's not really who he's portraying himself to be. So focus on just being that person that you're trying to portray yourself to be. And eventually they'll meet up at a point where you are that person. So, you know, you gotta fake it till you make it to some degree. But, you know, with the barber stuff, you gotta really...
Yeah, the cut's gonna speak, the craft gonna speak for itself.
Exactly. You gotta show out at some point, for sure.
Yeah, even though apart from the cutting, you tried like a bunch of other things. Like, you were a club promoter, like a concert promoter. You had T Grizzly coming to the city. Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's funny. Asking some great questions. So yeah, I did bring T Grizzly. Me and my friends, partners, we brought T Grizzly to the city. I think that was 2022.
Yeah, it was 2022.
Yeah, May. I forget what day, but it was 2022, and we brought him out to Foxtails on the south side on East Carson. To me, as far as the connection, that was made through my man Tevin. He was more experienced with the nightclub stuff and promoting and things like that. He's been involved with a lot more shows. Me and my other guy, we're kind of like just showing up with the money and you know, our connections to promote things. But my man Tevin, he pretty much had the connections and things like that, and he's more like more of a believe it or not, more of a people person than me, for real. So he's like really a lot more outgoing and stuff like that. So we made the connection that way. We originally tried to get G Herbo.
Yeah, okay.
And we got scammed.
Scammed too.
Man, they got us for $3,000, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, got us for $3,000.
Yeah, we got to hear about
Told
this.
us, he's like, yeah, Giobo's, he's just in the airport and we'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. They got out on us, bro. And then we found the real manager, and then we were gonna bring 4-2 Dub, and then that's when he went to jail. Like, he just got arrested. We were like, how about we bring 4-2 Dub? And like the next day, it's like he got arrested. It's like, I'm like, dang, all right.
Back to the drawing board.
Back to the drawing board, okay. I'm like, we like, who else you got? He's like, yeah, I got T Grizzly. I'm like, okay, that could probably work. Yeah, that could work. Yes, he was cool. I never really listened to his music, but shout out to T Grizzly though. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. And you know, I don't think we had enough time to promote that show. To be honest with you, it was more like because all of this was going on, we kind of like were crunching as far as time. But we sold out all the sections and stuff like that. It was a good time, man. It was a good time. Personally, I'm not into the nightlife. I don't like doing stuff like that, so I quickly realized that it's not my lane.
Yeah, you just try something, realize it's not for you.
Yeah, it's not.
So,
for me.
yeah.
We always preach to our guests, like, you know, figuring out like what you said you fell in love with cutting hair, but also figuring out what you don't like. That's super important. Too.
Yeah, I found that out quick. I was like, y'all gotta do this how many times a week?
Yeah,
I'm good. You know, definitely I'm good off of that because, you know, especially with that, there's so much risk, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of risk in there. A lot of things can happen.
Yeah, and you gotta, you know, still shake hands and kiss babies. And I was never a nightlife person. People, y'all got that.
Yeah. And then after that, like you started your own shop. Can you tell us like how you went from being like a barber in a shop, like renting out a chair, to having your own?
Honestly, it was just something that I didn't see myself doing at first. honestly. I was just like, I never really saw myself like being a barber long. Because the way I became a barber was because I got fired from my last job. So it was always kind of like a hustle. But I'm very competitive, so I want to also be a good barber. So I was always looking at the next thing, like doing real estate or car rentals or something like that. And I remember one day I ran into across hair tattoos. Someone was doing hair tattoos, and I'm like, what is that? And it immediately caught my attention. Like, they caught the artist in me, caught my eye. And I'm like, I want to do that. And I start realizing there's not any other place in the city that does that. And I'm like, man, that's a real niche. Like, that's, even if I wasn't good at it, I could get good because there's no one else here. And it seemed like something I would enjoy because I already do hair. And I'm like, so that's what inspired me to get my own place. And I didn't have that vision for a long time. I was working at the shop before that for 4 years. So I probably had that vision maybe almost 3.5 years into working at that shop. And I tried everything. I was doing wholesaling, all that other things because I thought I was greater
Yeah, I
than.
remember,
Yeah, like, because I thought I was greater than the game. But really, I was just taking the journey to get to where I am now and where I got the inspiration for that idea. So once I had the inspiration to do hair tattoos, it was on. Like, I took all my savings and just dumped it into my business, and just like, I didn't know if it was gonna work out or nothing, but I was like, I'm gonna die trying, man, because this seemed like it could work for real. And now it's what, almost 2 years in, and
Yeah.
everything's going exactly how I planned it.
Can you explain? I've never heard about hair tattoos. You explain that to the
I'll-
audience.
yeah, we gotta
I'll show
explain-
you
yeah,
real
yeah.
quick, but I'll explain it to.
We can pop it up right here too. We'll put like a little picture.
Yeah, some video,
Okay,
some footage
here
on the screen, too.
I'm just showing I do, but Kane knows what I do, but
Oh.
stuff like
I
that.
know a couple of my OGs who need that.
Right. You know, we all know a lot of people.
Yeah, we all
that
know
need-
that.
But you know, yeah. So hair tattoos is basically what it sounds like. We're basically replicating the look of hair. Your hair doesn't actually grow back. It replicates the look of low buzz cut hair. And some people can, have a longer length. Like, there's some people who have locks and just get their hairline done. There's some people who have hair lower than yours and then just want the, super low, even look. But what we do is replicate the hair follicle with custom pigments for everyone. So what the same color I would use on you is something I would not use on him, vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's a really a true art form, and it's something that's newer. It's about 10 to 15 years old industry, so it's still relatively new. But Pittsburgh's behind on everything, so there's not really.
Yeah.
When I was doing research, there wasn't any other SMP studios in the city. Not to say that there weren't other people doing it, but there wasn't a dedicated studio for that. So I was like, I wanted to be the first and
So
the first to
big
do
demand,
it
no
right.
supply.
What'd you say?
Big demand, no supply though.
First to hit the market.
So, I feel like the supply is getting bigger now because more people are finding out about it. But I always wanted to build this business before the wave hit because I wanted to get good. So once the wave hit, my
You're a
skills
pioneer,
and
yeah.
everything's gonna be
Yeah,
right.
They gotta
name
catch up.
popping
Right.
Yeah.
Those
So-
dollars in. And it's for women too.
Yeah, women could use it. I had a woman, I had a consultation the other day where she was just thinning in this area. She just wants to add some density. You don't have to have the shaved look. You could have longer hair and get the hair tattoo just to add some density. But most guys, they just shave the hair down and then do it that way. So there's a lot of flexibility with it. And it's something I truly love. I mean, it's one thing to love being a barber, but to love another career that I have is like lightning striking twice, for real. So I truly love.
You wake up and smile because of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So
And I'm sure, doing stuff like that, they say, you look good, you feel good. So,
Right.
you're, directly impacting people's confidence. And
man,
I think you're sleeping on yourself. You said you weren't really a people person, but, being a barber, you got to build connections. Like you said,
Yeah.
keeping clients and things like that. So, you're probably selling yourself short on that a little bit. People really
Yeah.
enjoying, the personality. Because it's more than just, obviously, like we said, your craft speaks for yourself, too. But having that relationship,
Right.
you and Kane been locked in for however long.
yeah.
You got to have, that level of camaraderie with your clients,
Right.
too.
Yeah, you might be right. But also, like, I'll say I know how to shut it off too. Like, I know how to turn it on and shut it off. So it's like sometimes when I'm out, if you probably catch me outside of the shop, I might be a whole different person. You know what I'm saying? So this depend on the day. But yeah, you might be right to that. But a lot of times when I'm not at the shop, I just like to just shut down, unwind, and just
Yeah, true.
because that's a
Yeah,
lot,
true.
man. That's a lot.
Yeah, being on all. It's important to have that distinction, yeah.
Yeah. You know, especially, you know, doing 10 people a day, that's 10 hours a day, 10 different conversations, 10 different, you know, ways things could go. So you get good at it. But, you know, sometimes you're like, man, I just want to sit in silence for a little bit, you know?
That's the truth.
And going back to like how you learned SMP, just from like knowing you, you took like a big risk. Like you went and learned under somebody else too as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually, that's why, look, so I took, and this is with the T Grizzly thing, so I'll say this, I lost money on that, and I was swole. It ain't nothing to T Grizzly.
Yeah.
But I was supposed to take that money and then flip it and then go take my SMP class.
Yeah.
So, and I could start my business. So it didn't work out like that. I took the L, but it's cool. I still did what I had to do. I took $5,000 for the class. I paid $5,000 for that, even after I took the loss. And I still bet on myself, and I did that. I went to New Jersey to learn under my man Amari, and I did that for 3 days. And obviously, you don't learn everything that you need to know in 3 days,
Yeah,
but he
takes
gave
training.
me enough to start. So I paid $5,000. Didn't even have a place in mind. Was just like, I'm gonna do this.
Bet on yourself, yeah.
Came home, found a spot the next week.
Wow.
Signed the lease. It needed fully reconstructed though, but you know, again, I had the money savings, and just completely renovated the space. We added laminate flooring for a whole 1,200, almost 1,400 square foot space. If you know about laminate flooring, that's a lot of work, a lot of
Yeah.
money. Painting the whole space,
Furniture.
furnishing it, you know, and I'm doing this all on my own dime. You know, I had help, you know, here and there. Like my girl helped me. I had a you know, business partner at one point. You know, that didn't work out, so I pretty much had to pay everything on my own. But now I'm glad it happened that way, and it was hard at first, but you know, that's any business. So I already planned all this stuff out. You know, for the next 5 years, I already know it's gonna be tough, and just stay down, and things will work out for
Yeah.
sure.
You even did the same system that you did when you started cutting. Like you were doing SMP learning, you weren't charging as much as you were, but just because like you were passionate about it. And then once you got really good at it, you started charging your full worth.
Right, man. Not even just that. I was doing stuff for free.
Yeah.
There were so many people I did it for free for, like, you know, and the hair touches are not cheap. We're talking about, like, on average now, my clients pay close to $2,000 per procedure. So, you know, I did one today that was for $1,800. So that's, you know, about average. So, you know, this stuff isn't cheap at all.
Right.
But, you know, I'm doing it for free just so I could learn. You know,
Yeah.
again, don't put the money first. I'm like, if I wasn't doing it for free, one, I wouldn't have a portfolio, and two, I wouldn't have gotten a skill. So, but for me, again, the skill was the most important thing. Like, forget about the money. So I just got to figure out other ways to make money in the meantime. But this is the long-term play. So I'm going to just nurture this like a little baby. And, you know, it
Yeah.
takes time,
Yeah.
you know. Anything worth having is worth working for.
Yeah, we're grinding for.
Yeah, for sure. And it's, now, like you said, I'm starting to charge what I'm worth, and it's paying off.
What was it like kind of, so once you got your own spot, and I guess to some degree stepping into like a businessman capacity? I mean, you kind of already always a businessman working for yourself, cutting hair, but you know, once you get your own shop, you even said like you had to put on your contractor hat a couple times
Yeah.
during like renovations and
marketing
things like
hat.
that. So what did you learn, I guess, about the business side? Since you kind of already had like the skill and the craft of, you know, cutting hair and that being a love for you.
Man, a lot, man. I'm still learning, you know, it's a lot. But one major thing I learned is don't be above outsourcing. Don't be above
Yeah, that's an
outsourcing
important fact
things,
right there.
you know, because you're going to stress yourself out. And there are people who do this for real that will do it at a reasonable price. Don't be worried about the money. Again, just make sure it's getting done right. So I've learned that. But in a lot of ways, I've learned, like you said, a lot of different things, fixing things, running a business, marketing, way to carry yourself. There's even a way to carry yourself, the way to talk to people, thinking about things you could lose, making smart decisions while you're not at work. I mean, it's so much, you know, that comes with it. It's not just open up shop and close shop. It's a lifestyle. So unless you're not willing to dedicate your lifestyle to it, you know, it's kind of hard to even be successful. So
Yeah, because you got to go all the way in.
you got to go all the way in, or else if you don't, you're not going to get anything out of it. So definitely get out what you're putting in.
What do you feel like with the knowledge and things that you have now, going back to like 12-year-old you when you were just first starting to cut? What would you say to the 12-year-old you, first time picking up the clippers, lining himself up, cutting his friends, before you even knew that things would evolve to where they're at today?
Man, just keep having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Just allow your talents to take you places, you know what I'm saying? Your personality probably couldn't, or anything, man. Just keep having fun with it. Having, you know, all the people you meeting along the ways and doors just open. Just keep doing what I was doing. Keep grinding, man, for real. Or I think I did. I think I had a good start on it. Started off in a good way. So just keep doing what I was doing, for real. Shout out to the younger me.
Shout out to him. Yeah, so what would you say, like, what else are you interested in? I know you're interested in, like, cars, like, nature. Tell us a little bit more about yourself outside of, like, the business.
Oh, man. That's so funny because a lot of times I feel like I don't exist. Like, it's one and the same.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I've been learning to be a better father, a better boyfriend, a better man. But I work so hard so I could have more time to dedicate to those things, and it's becoming that way more lately. So I've been finding more of myself. Just, I'm a father first, you know, so I love being a father. I love nature, love music. I'm a big music head. I have over 12,000 songs on my playlist. I love everything.
Yeah,
Hip hop, jazz, you know, electric, R&B, whatever, man. I just love music, so it's just passions of mine. I like working out. I'm just a very simple person. You know, I'm not really the person that like to go out to the club like that. Now you'll see me out here and there, but you know that's because I like to spend time with my guys, or you know celebrate somebody's birthday or something like that. Other than that, I just like to spend time with my daughter and my girl. In the middle of now, just trying to plan a trip for us, like do something with me and my daughter and my girl, and me and my girl will go on a separate trip. So I'm in the middle of planning stuff like that now. So I'm just, you know, on some family stuff. So I'm just business, family oriented right now. So I'm just, you know, I'm focused.
And focus on your family. Have you seen that, like, increase your business too? Like, your focus and your motivation to do that too as well?
Absolutely. You know, especially as a man, when you're supposed to, you know, I ain't gonna say what you're supposed to do, but you know, they look at us like we gotta provide. So you know, a lot of times providing means financially. So you're gonna have to take, if not all the bills, the brunt of them.
Majority of them, yeah, the expensive ones.
Some guys that'll make you, some guys that'll break you. For me, that made me, because it made me push myself harder. You know, I don't want to be the one to be like, I can't make it this month, or I can't take you out or take you here. I don't want to be that type of dude. So, you know, I'll suffer in silence and just, you know, get my grind on, you know. So that's always been me. Just focus, just lock in and do that type of stuff. Take care of my family. I love doing it. You know, for a long time it might have been stressful, but I love taking care of my family. I'll get them my last. So almost to my girls, you know, so. As a man, it's nothing better than taking care of your family and being able to take care of your family.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing.
We got a question we asked a lot of people. If you lost everything today, what would you do tomorrow?
Man, what would I do tomorrow if I lost everything and I'm good? I just lose like my business and
You lost
stuff.
your business, your money, all you guys, your family.
Hey, I still be happy and grateful. I'm alive. And I still have my skills, and I still got my knowledge, so I'll probably get there again faster.
Yeah.
By that point, so you know, I wouldn't be too worried. I'm more of an optimistic person, man. So I know I wouldn't have gotten this far for no reason. I feel like if I got this far and I lost everything, there would be a reason.
There'd be a reason, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it will propel me further than where I was to begin with. So that's just how I look at stuff. I wouldn't even be worried. You know, I'd be swole at first. I'm not even gonna lie.
That's a really good mindset to have.
But like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not human. I'm not a robot. But I'll be good. I'll go for a hike. When I'm stressed, I go for a hike, listen to music, meditate. I might complain to my girl about it for a second. Yeah. I try not to do that too. That's like a last resort. Yeah. But you know, she always got words of wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good to have a girl that can hype you up, give you the words of wisdom.
Yeah, so that's important. So she does that for me. But I'll be good, man. I have everything I need, you know, and I got my team my little team, they got my back too.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Kind of going back to, I guess, hair. What do you think is like the worst trend right now, or like worst like hairstyle, like something that's just like getting overdone, like is played as corny or something?
I just think the worst thing in the industry now probably just too much like not like color enhancements and stuff like that. Too much or just excessive looking overly fake.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Not even trying to make it look real.
Yeah, like at least
Leaving raw white pencil chalk on. Like you ain't even blend it in, nothing. You didn't even try to blend it in. It's just a pencil line on you. Like that's crazy to me. But that just thinking you're more important than you are. You know, I see a lot of that. I mean, at the end of the day, we just cut hair. You know, some barbers are more important than others. We're not celebrities. You know, but we do make great impacts on people's lives. So just
save people's lives every 2 weeks.
Yeah, man, saving lives for real. But you know, keep things in perspective, man. Some people just be feeling themselves too hard. So those two things for real.
And then I know one time you gotta give us like the advice, like if people are bald, and like what advice would you give them, like to your clients, or like before they have to get SMP? Because I remember you were giving me some tips.
Okay, before they go bald, I say if you still have your hair, use a derma roller and minoxidil, and you can do that. You want to do that probably twice a day. You want a derma roll, not to the point where you bleeding, but just enough to where you can make micro incisions on your scalp, and then you can use Rogaine, which is a form of minoxidil. Minoxidil is just the word for the vitamin or supplement itself.
Yeah, the supplement, yeah.
But like the brand of minoxidil will be like Rogaine, Hims, Keeps, stuff like that. Hims is a good one too. So use the derma roller and do that twice a day, or however often they tell you. And if you catch it early enough, you know, you could save your hair. You know, I say it all the time. I should have been bald a couple times for real. But I saved my hairline like early in my 20s. Then again later in my 20s when I had my daughter, I'm stressing. You know, I'm 32 now.
Stress derma roll.
You know, right. I'm 32 now, so I still have my hair.
Yeah, you still got your hair, yeah.
You know, I'm rocking with it till the end, as long as I can keep it. So, you know, I know I'm a barber, so I know plenty of dudes younger than me that don't have hair. So it's like I'm holding on, man. But it works. So, you know, that works. Definitely before earlier you catch it, more hair you can save. So.
Sure, man. Julian, we appreciate you coming on the pod, man, sharing your journey.
Yeah.
Is there any advice or any like last tips, anything you want to shout out, whether it's personal about the business you want to tell the folks?
Well, shout out to myself first and foremost.
Yeah, where can we find you at?
Well, my Instagram is Julian the Barber 412. And then my business is Axiom Scalp Inc. Right here, AXIOME Scalp Inc. on Instagram, on all platforms, axiomscalpinc.com. If you want to fill out a consultation about hair tattoos, you can just fill out the form on the website, or you can just call me. All my information is on the website or on Instagram. But any advice I got for the young people, get your credit right, man. Get your credit right, man.
Credit is important.
Credit could take you far in life. You know, I'm a barber, so I relied on cash for a long time, but you know, now my credit score is good. I could do more things. But if I would have knew that, you know, years ago, who knows where I would have been. Get your credit right. Don't worry about money so much at first. Just keep your head down, grind, do quality work. And shout outs, like I said, shout out to myself, shout out to my girls, shout out to my baby, Layla. Shout out to all the OGs that taught me everything. Shout out to my man Kane. Shout out to you guys for having me. I appreciate you. Thank you
Thanks for coming
so
on.
much for your platform, and you know, hopefully I inspire at least one person today.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate y'all tuning in. If you want to get a fresh cut, get your confidence up, or even just learn something new, make sure to hit our boy at Julian the Barber. We appreciate y'all coming on the Loco Cast and locking in with us. Y'all have a good one. Love Loco.
Oh, Loco.